I patched it up with plaster, painted over, tried to give myself a blank canvas, a wall without a trace. But the sun still hits that spot, and I still see your face. The way the light will catch your smile every afternoon at 4. Now it catches nothing but a shadow of before. I've stripped the wallpaper, I've sanded every edge, but some marks run deeper than the surface of the ledge. These are the frames I can't take down, empty hooks in a silent town. No photographs, no memories in glass, just the ghosts of us that still last. I boxed up every picture, put the albums in the shed, but the frames stay on the wall like words left unsaid. Frames I can't take down. There's a rectangle of brighter paint above the fireplace, where our smiling faces used to hang in their place. I promised I'd repaint it, promised I'd make it new, but I can't bring myself to cover the shape of me and you. It's the only proof left hanging that we were ever real, that I once knew the way it felt to love and be loved still. The photographs are buried in a drawer I never opened, but the empty frames stay hanging like a promise that was broken. These are the frames I can't take down, empty hooks in a silent town. No photographs, no memories in glass, just the ghosts of us that still last. I boxed up every picture, put the albums in the shed, but the frames stay on the wall like words left unsaid. Frames I can't take down. I try to fill them with new pictures, new smiles, new faces, but every frame still holds the outline of our old embraces. I bought a landscape, bought a sunrise, bought a field of flowers, but they all look like background to you and I and ours. So the frames stay empty, waiting for a photograph that I already packed away, that I already packed. Maybe I'm still waiting for a day you might come back and see your space is still here, still haven't filled the crack. These are the frames I can't take down, empty hooks in a silent town. No photographs, no memories in glass, just the ghosts of us that still last. I've taken down the curtains, I've replaced the chandelier, but the frames stay on the wall with nothing left to mirror. Frames I can't take down. There's a nail hole in the hallway where your portrait used to live. I've patched it up 100 times, but the walls still won't forgive the weight of what was hanging there, the weight of what remains. Some empty spaces never filled, some frames endure the pain. Frames I can't take down. Frames I won't take down, because taking down the frame feels like you were never here at all, and I need something left to prove I wasn't dreaming through it all. I keep on living with these frames I can't take down. I've been sewing in the evenings just to keep my hands employed, thread and needle, fabric scraps, the silence and the void. My grandmother taught me when I was 10, said mend what can be mended, but she didn't teach me how to fix a heart that's been suspended between the life I thought I'd have and the one that's lying here, a patchwork of the days before you disappeared. I took your old flannel shirt, the red one with the tears, and I've been cutting squares from it to stitch across the years. I'm sewing stitches in the quiet, threading grief through the eye, pulling tight the moments that we let just slip on by. Every patch is a memory, every seam is a prayer. The mending all this fabric might repair the tear in the air. Stitches in the quiet, the only sound to pull, of thread through cloth of love, through loss of trying to make full. I made a quilt from all your clothes you left here in the closet, the sweater from your mother, the jeans with the rusted faucet, stain from when you fixed the sink. Said I'm no plumber, but I'll try. You got soaked and laughed and cursed, and I felt more in love that July. Now your clothes are warm across my lap, a blanket of your skin. I sleep beneath it every night, let the fabric sink into my bones, my breath, my dreams. But you still come alive, and for 8 hours I'm not mending, I'm just holding what survives. I'm sewing stitches in the quiet, threading grief through the eye, pulling tight the moments that we let just slip on by. Every patch is a memory, every seam is a prayer. The mending all this fabric might repair the tear in the air. Stitches in the quiet, the only sound to pull, of thread through cloth of love, through loss of trying to make full. My sister came to visit, saw me hunched over the frame. She said, you know that's not him, right? You know that's just his name. On a tag inside a collar, on a label in a seam. You're not sewing him back to your life, you're just sewing a dream. I looked up from the needle, from the thimble on my thumb. I said, I know he's not coming back. I know my time has come to let him go, to bury this, to pack it all away. But let me finish this last square, let me finish this last day. I'm sewing stitches in the quiet, and I think I'm almost done. The quilt is full and heavy, the battle lost, the war won. I've stitched your flannel to my collar, your denim to my wool, a crazy quilt of everything that wasn't beautiful. Stitches in the quiet, and when I tie the final knot, I'll fold you up and put you on the shelf of what I've got. I've been sewing in the evenings just to keep my hands employed, but tonight I place the needle down, the silence and the void. Still there, still waiting, still as deep and wide. But the quill lies on my lap and something's changed inside. Stitches in the quiet, I've mended all I can. You're not coming back to me, but I am still a man who loved you, who lost you, who learned to hold the thread and stitch the pieces of a life together in my head. Stitches in the quiet doesn't scream so loud. The quiet holds my needle now. The quiet is my shroud and also my salvation. The silence and the thread, stitches in the quiet, the living among the dead. It wasn't rain or moonlight, it wasn't our song on the radio, it wasn't the anniversary of the day you had to go. It was just a Tuesday, gray and ordinary, 10:30. The kind of day that doesn't know it's breaking someone's skin. I was folding laundry, matching socks the way you taught, and nothing kind of morning, a battle I thought I'd fought in. Then I held your blue sweater, the one with broken thread, and I buried my face in cotton and I fell apart instead. Tears on a Tuesday, no warning, no goodbyes, just the weight of missing you behind the most mundane of skies. No fanfare for the break and no crescendo, no applause, just a woman in a bedroom learning grief has no loss. And the world kept spinning, kept its traffic, kept its news, while I drown in tears on a Tuesday, still in love with you. The neighbors mowed their lawn that afternoon, indifferent to my ache. The mailman slid the bills through another envelope to take. The supermarket was crowded with people buying bread and milk, and I stood in the cereal aisle, my composure worn to silk. A child laughed somewhere behind me, a car hit its squeaky wheels, and I gripped the handle tighter, trying not to show what I feel, because Tuesday doesn't pause for hearts that shattered overnight, and the world doesn't stop asking you to be polite. Tears on a Tuesday, no warning, no goodbyes, just the weight of missing you behind the most mundane of skies. No fanfare for the break and no crescendo, no applause, just a woman in a bedroom learning grief has no loss. And the world kept spinning, kept its traffic, kept its news, while I drown in tears on a Tuesday, still in love with you. They say grief comes in waves, but they never tell you this, that sometimes it's not the anniversary, not the first kiss. Sometimes it's a Tuesday and the sun is vaguely out, and you're folding laundry and a memory walks without. A knock, a sound, a scent, a word, the way the light hits the floor, and suddenly you're gasping at a closed and silent door. Tuesday doesn't know it's the day I lost you twice. Once when you walked out on once an ordinary light. Tears on a Tuesday, and I let them fall and fall. No point in holding back the flood when the tide has come to call. I let the sweater soak through, I let the fabric drink every drop of sorrow from the heart's exhausted sink. Because Tuesday taught me something that the calendars never knew. That grief doesn't need a reason to still be in love with you. It's Wednesday now, the sun is brighter, the sky a different blue. I've put your sweater in the drawer, I've done what I must do. But somewhere in the hollow of the day I'll walk into another Tuesday waits for me. Another wave of you. Tears on a Tuesday. Just an ordinary day where love remembers loudly and will not fade away. We had a song that played the first night that we met. It came on in the bar, the speakers wet with sweat. You grabbed my hand and pulled me out onto the floor, and we danced like we'd been dancing forever before. After that, every moment had its own soundtrack. First kiss played a slow one, first fight played a fast one back. We built a whole playlist of us, track by track by track. Never thought the music would ever stop, never thought we'd lose track. But somewhere in the middle, the rhythm started to change. The harmonies grew distant, the melodies grew strange. You stopped humming in the morning, stopped tapping on the table, and I pretended not to notice for as long as I was able. The day the music stopped, the house fell silent and cold. No more songs of us to sing, no more stories to be told. The needle lifted off the record, the radio went dead, and all I heard was silence ringing inside my head. The day the music stopped, the playlist finally died, and I was left with nothing but the echoes to me it was the ghost of us still trying to feel right. The day the music stopped, the house fell silent and cold. No more songs of us to sing, no more stories to be told. The needle lifted off the record, the radio went dead, and all I heard was silence ringing inside my head. The day the music stopped, the playlist finally died, and I was left with nothing but the echo of goodbye. The echo of goodbye. Sometimes late at night I think I hear a faint melody, a song I almost recognize, a tune that used to be. I strain to catch the lyrics, I hold my breath and wait, but it's just the neighbor's stereo, it's just a twist of fate. The music didn't stop for you, I know you found new songs, you're dancing to a different beat. You've moved on, you've moved along, but here in this silent house I still listen for the drive, waiting for a song that's over on the day the music stopped. The day the music stopped, but I still hear the silence. The day the music stopped, I still feel the violence of the sudden quiet of the missing note. The day the music stopped is the day I lost the note. The day the music stopped, no encore, no repeat. The day the music stopped and silence was complete. The radiator clicks and hums, it never did before. Or maybe it was always there, I just couldn't hear it all. Yours, the way you talk with your hands, the way you breathe when you slept, the way your keys would jingle with every step you kept. Now the silence has a sound, a frequency of grief, a ringing in the aftermath. No melody, no beat. I never knew how loud you were until you weren't around. Now every little whisper echoes through this empty house, and it's the quiet after us that I can't seem to fill. The fridge no longer argues, the floorboards are still, the TV plays for no one, the pillows keep their shape. There's no second coffee brew, no reason to stay awake. It's the quiet after us that screams the loudest late at night. The silence of your side of the bed, the absence of your light. We made so much noise loving, I never heard the hush, but now I'm drowning in the quiet after us. I caught myself whispering your name into the hall, as if the rooms might answer, as if you might call. I heard a laugh that sounded yours from the apartment next door. Stood frozen in the hallway, my hand against the door. The neighbor's TV shut off, the laughter came to end, and I remembered you don't live here anymore, my friend. It's not the loud moments I miss, the fights, the making up, is the soft sounds that vanished when you packed your truck It's the quiet after us that I can't seem to fill. The fridge no longer argues, the floorboards are still. The TV plays for no one, the pillows keep their shape. There's no second coffee brewing, no reason to stay awake. It's the quiet after us that screams the loudest late at night. The silence of your side of the bed, the absence of your light. We made so much noise loving, I never heard the hush, but now I'm drowning in the quiet after us. The dishwasher doesn't run as often, the mailbox only brings bills, the shower doesn't fog the mirror, and the windows stay sealed. I didn't know a person could leave so much sound in their wake, or that silence could be so heavy, so much more than noise can take. I listen for the ghost of you, a footstep or a sigh, but the quiet just keeps telling me the truth I can't deny. It's the quiet after us that I can't seem to fill. The keys don't jingle anymore, the stairs are still. The toothbrush stands alone now, the closet has more space. There's no second towel hanging, no trace of your face. It's the quiet after us that screams the loudest late at night. The absence of your breathing, the missing of your light. We made so much noise loving, I never heard the hush, but now I'm sinking in the quiet after us. The radiator hums, the floorboards creak along. The quiet after us is the loudest I've ever known. The quiet after us is the only sound left now. The quiet after us. Somebody show me how to turn it off. To turn it off. Everyone announces it the same, 3 syllables, plain and clear. But only you could stretch it out like honey in my ear. Only you can make it sound like shelter, like a prayer, like the answer to a question I forgot I had left there. I heard my mother call me from the kitchen yesterday, and for a second, just a second, I heard you in the way. She drew out the middle vowel, soft and slow and sweet, and I stood there in the hallway, paralyzed, incomplete. It's the way you said my name, the way you pulled it close, the way you wrapped your tongue around each letter, each exposed nerve ending of identity, the core of who I am. You held it like a sacrament, a lamb. Now everyone else just says it, just a label, just a sound. But you made my name a kingdom, and you're no longer crowned. I Tried to hate the sound of it, tried to change what people call. Told my friends to use a nickname, built myself a different wall. But at coffee shops and roll calls, when the barista calls it out, I still look up expecting you, still flooded with the doubt of whether anyone will ever say it with that way, that particular pronunciation of love and fight. You said it on our first date, nervous, stumbling through, and by the end you said it like you'd said it your whole life through. It's the way you said my name, the way you pulled it close, the way you wrapped your tongue around each letter, each exposed nerve ending of identity, the core of who I am. You held it like a sacrament, a lamb. Now everyone else just says it, just a label, just a sound. But you made my name a kingdom, and you're no longer crowned. I met someone new last month. She's kind and smart and warm. She says my name correctly, proper diction, proper form. And last night she whispered it, her lips against my skin. And I waited for the feeling, waited for the rush to begin. But it never came, the magic's gone, the alchemy is dead. The way you said my name is buried in the bed of a house we used to share, in a life we used to live. And I don't know how to tell her that my name has less to give. It's the way you said my name, and I think I'll always miss the particular phonetics of your particular kiss, on each syllable, each consonant, the breath before the end, the way you made my name a home, and then you left again. Now everyone else just says it, and I smile and I respond, but my name sounds like a stranger now, since you've been gone. Everyone pronounces it the same, 3 syllables, plain and clear. But on me you could stretch it out like honey in my ear. And sometimes late at night I whisper it myself out loud, trying to find your cadence, trying to feel you in the sound. The way you said my name, I practice in the dark, hoping that if I say it right, I'll feel you in the arc of vowel and consonant and breath. Just a little tug, and the whole sleeve started coming undone. And it that had been snug, I watched it let, I watched it run, watched the fabric fray. And I thought about the day you said, I think I need to go away. One loose thought, one quiet doubt. One evening you didn't call, and then the whole thing came apart. The stitches in the shawl of everything we'd woven, all the years of double knit, unraveling so easily. A sob caught in my kit. Thread unraveled, that's what we became. Not a sudden break, not a violent tear, not a fire or a flame, just a single moment of release, a letting go of tension. And the whole design came loose beyond all comprehension. Thread unraveled, and I've been trying to re-spool, but you can't reknit a sweater that's abandoned to the pool. I think about the first time you held my hand in the movie theater dark. How your fingers interlace with mine, how you left your permanent mark on the way I understand connection, the way I understand grip. You were knitting yourself into me with every fingertip, and I was knitting myself into you. The cables and the pearls, we thought we were building something warm to face the colder worlds. We thought we were making heirlooms, something to pass down, but heirlooms don't unravel when the knitter leaves town. Thread unraveled, that's what we became. Not a sudden break, not a violent tear, not a fire or a flame, just a single moment of release, a letting go of tension. And the whole design came loose beyond all comprehension. Thread unraveled, and I've been trying to re-spool, but you can't reknit a sweater that's abandoned to the pool. I found a box of your half-finished projects under the bed, a scarf you were making for your father in burgundy and red. The needle still stuck through the stitches, the yarn still attached, a moment frozen in the middle of a love that couldn't match. The pattern you were following, the rhythm of the rose. I pulled it out and held it, felt the weight of all the slows, the pauses, the hesitations, the drop stitches on the floor. And I realized you've been unraveling long before you walked out the door. Thread unraveled, and I think I understand. Some knots were never meant to hold, some work slips through your hands, some fibers are too weak to bear the tension and the wear. And some knitters just get tired of the pattern and the prayer. Thread unraveled, and I'm learning how to wear loose ends into something new, to leave the past behind. I pulled out a loose thread on my sweater this morning. Just a little tug, and the whole sleeve started coming undone. And it that had been snug, I watched it let, I watched it run, watched the fabric fray. And I thought about the day you said, I think I need to go away. Thread unraveled, that's what we became. Not a tragedy, not a drama, just a loose thread, just a shame, just a single moment of pulling when I should've let it be. Thread unraveled, lights turn red at Fifth and Main. I watched your brake lights glow. 2 blocks ahead, you stopped and waited. Nowhere left to go. I could have caught you there. I could have pulled up next to you, rolled down my window, said the words I never followed through. But the light turned green and you moved on, and I stayed frozen there, watching your car dissolve into the ordinary air. Just another drive on just another street, and I was just a stranger that you happened not to meet. It was a traffic light goodbye. A red light turned to green. The last chance I had to reach you, the last in between. 30 seconds of parallel, 2 cars side by side. Then the signal changed and you drove on, and I just sat and cried. A traffic light goodbye, the cruelest kind of close, because I could almost touch you, but I couldn't reach you most. I think about that moment every time I see that light. I think about what I would say if I had one more night. Not to beg you back, not to change the end, just to thank you for the years, just to call you friend, just to say I hope you're happy, I hope you found your peace. I hope the weight of loving me has finally found release. I hope you don't still blame yourself for all the ways I broke. I hope you've learned to speak your truth instead of silent smoke. It was a traffic light goodbye, a red that turned to green. The last chance I had to reach you, the last in between. 30 seconds of parallel, 2 cars side by side. Then the signal changed and you drove on, and I just sat and cried. A traffic light goodbye, the cruelest kind of close, because I could almost touch you, but I couldn't reach you most. I've driven past that intersection maybe 1,000 times. Sometimes I slow down, sometimes I close my eyes and pretend that you're still there, waiting for the goal, that we're still running on the same schedule, moving fast and slow. But you moved to the other side of town and the other side of state, and I heard from someone's cousin that you moved again in May, and that light still cycles red to green, indifferent to my grief. A mechanical heartbeat that offers no relief. It was a traffic light goodbye, and I didn't even know that 30 seconds was the only closure I'd ever know. I thought there'd be another time, another chance, another day, but life doesn't give vetoes, it just sends you on your way. A traffic light goodbye, and I'm still sitting at the light, waiting for a green that means I can catch you, still waiting for the right. The lights turn red at Fifth and Main. I watched your brake lights glow. 2 blocks ahead, you stopped and waited. Nowhere left to go. And sometimes I still sit there through a cycle or 2, pretending that I'm waiting for the light to let me catch up to you. A traffic light goodbye, the one that got away, not in a dramatic storm or fight, just on an ordinary Tuesday at Fifth and Main at 5:47, and I didn't even wait. station still there on Morrison. The benches painted green. I haven't walked those platforms since you left me at 19. But yesterday the traffic rerouted, and I found myself downstairs, watching strangers board the cars like they had some welfare. I remember the old blue suitcase, the wheels that always stuck. How you laughed and called it stubborn, said it had your kind of luck. We stood there by the ticket booth. You held my trembling hand, said it's just a train, it's just a year, it's just a different land. The train took you, the tracks let out, the whistle split the air. I waved until the last car curved and you were no longer there. The steel snake swallowed all our plans, devoured our 17, and left me on the platform with a heart that couldn't gleam. The trains don't just take bodies, they take the future too. And I've been staying on that platform, still waiting for you. He called me from the corridor, said the Wi-Fi was a joke, said the dining car was overpriced, said you missed my smoke. I quit the year before for you, but you forgot that part. You just remembered all my flaws, forgot about my heart. The calls got shorter every week, the text grew thin and gray. You said the distance was a cancer eating us away. I beg you to come home on Christmas, New Year's, Easter, spring. But the train that took you kept you, and it never brought you back to me. The train took you, the tracks let out, the whistle split the air. I waved until the last car curved and you were no longer there. A steel snake swallowed all our plans, devoured our 17, and left me on take the future too. And I've been standing on that platform, still waiting for you. I went to therapy, they said write the letter you never sent. So I wrote you 15 pages from beginning to the end. I wrote about the apartment, the dog, the job I almost got. I hate that I still wait for you, still believe, still hope, still trust. The train took you and I let it. I put you on that car. I kissed your cheek and said I'll see you soon, and watched you go so far. I didn't know that soon would stretch into a decade of decay. Trains don't run on promises, they only run away. The train took you, it took you, it kept taking you from me. And I'm still on the platform, waiting for a train that's never coming back. Station's still there on Norrison, the benches painted green. I sat down on a cold steel, 17 and 19 and 33. And a train pulled in, and a train pulled out, and the people came and went. But I stayed on that bench, paying silent rent for the ghost of a girl with a blue suitcase and a wheel that always stuck. The train took you, but it never gave me back my earth. It's been 6 months since you packed your bags and walked out that door. I cleaned the closet, changed the locks, swept up the floor. But there it was, crumpled in the corner of the drawer, the navy blue t-shirt you used to wear and I used to adore. It still smells a little like your skin, like a cheap cologne. I held it to my chest and suddenly I wasn't alone. I washed it twice, I swear I did. I tried to let it go, but the scent of you still lingers and my heart still wants to know. It's just a t-shirt you forgot, nothing more than cotton and thread, but it holds the shape of your shoulders, the pillow where you laid your head. It's just a piece of fabric, just a remnant of the past, but it still fits me better than your love ever lasts. I wear it when I miss you, which is every night I guess. This t-shirt you forgot is the only thing you left behind that still knows how to hold me, that still feels like mine. I caught myself sleeping on your side just to feel it loose, rolling up the sleeves the way you used to do. I traced the faded logo, the little frayed hem, and pretended you were here again. Pretended I was them, the version of us before the goodbye, before the bitter end, before I became someone you don't have to pretend. I should throw it in the trash, I should burn it in the yard, but it's the only part of you that never made it hard. But it's just a t-shirt you forgot, nothing more than cotton and thread, but it holds the shape of your shoulders, the pillow where you laid your head. It's just a piece of fabric, just a remnant of the past, but it still fits me better than your love ever lasts. I wear it when I miss you, which is every night I guess. This t-shirt you forgot is the only thing you left behind that still knows how to hold me, that still feels like mine. You remembered your toothbrush, your phone charger, your keys. You remembered every book you lent me, every CD. You remembered all the reasons that we couldn't stay, but you forgot this t-shirt and I thank God every day. Maybe it was an accident, maybe you didn't care, maybe it was your heart leaving a small crack there, or maybe it's the universe showing me some grace, leaving me a piece of you I can still embrace. It's just a t-shirt you forgot, nothing more than cotton and thread, but it holds the shape of your shoulders, the pillow where you laid your head. It's just a piece of fabric, just a remnant of the past, but it still fits me better than your love ever lasts. I wear it when I miss you, which is every night, I guess. This teacher you forgot is the only thing you left behind. It still knows how to hold me, that still feels like mine. And someday I might fold it, put it in a box. Someday I might heal enough to ignore the locks. Someday I might wake up and I'll reach for your sleep, but that someday isn't now, and my heart still believes. So I'll wear it one more night, this t-shirt you forgot. It's not much of you to keep, but it's all I've got. It's all I've got. The t-shirt you forgot, still holding me, still holding me, like you never stopped. I typed it out at 2:13, the coffee cold beside. My thumb hovered over, sending my heart a desperate tide. I saw our song on vinyl, I bought it for no reason. The store clerk asked if it was gift, I said it's out of season. Dots appeared, then disappeared, then nothing else at all. Just the cursor blinking like a pulse against the wall. I watched it for an hour, watched the screen dim into black. The last connection severed and there's no going back. Your name is still there, your photo's still the same. The one from that vacation, the one without the frame. But the words just hang in digital space, no reply coming through. Just the quiet condemnation of I'm red and blue, I'm red and blue, I'm red and blue. Every message I have sent is a ghost you never knew. Back to 2019, when your replies were fast, when your texts were little novels, when the love was in our past. I miss you sent at midnight, I love you back by one. Now I miss you sits forever, waiting for a rising sun. Swipe them all away, if you muted my notifications, if my name is just in gray. I wonder if you ever think about the words I send, or if I'm just a blue bubble with no beginning and no end. Your name is still there, your photo's still the same. The one from that vacation, the one without the frame. The quiet condemnation of I'm red and blue, I'm red and blue, I'm red and blue. Every message I have sent is a ghost you never knew. I tried to delete the conversation, tried to wipe it clean, but my thumb wouldn't press confirm, wouldn't kill the in-between. Because as long as the thread exists, there's a door that's not quite shut. As long as the message says delivered, there's a crack that's not quite shut. I sent you one last night, the shortest one I've ever made. 2 words, 4 syllables, the truest thing I've ever said. I forgive you, and I watch it turn to blue, and I watch should stay unread. Your name is still there, but I finally looked away. Your photo's still the same, but I have nothing left to say. I deleted every message, every heart, every I miss you too. And I left you there alone at last, unread and blue, unread and blue, unread and blue. The last thing I will ever send is silence after you. Typed it out at 3:47. The moon was cold and high. Goodbye is only 6 short letters. Took an hour to not cry. My thumb pressing, I watched it go, a paper airplane into space. And then I blocked your number, erased your name, erased your face. Unread and blue, forever unread and blue. But at least now I'll never know if you ever knew. My phone storage was full today. It told me to delete old files, old photos, old conversations, obsolete. I scrolled through years of digital dust, things I'd long forgot. And then I saw your name attached to a blue audio dot. October 12th, 2019, 11:23 p.m. I didn't recognize the date, I didn't know what voice lived in that tiny waveform waiting there, a sleeping silent song. I pressed play before I could talk myself out of being wrong. And there you are, alive again, inside my earbuds, breathing. 2019 frozen, all the love we had still seething. You were laughing at a movie, you were calling me an idiot. You were saying you'll be home soon, you were saying you'd forget to pick up milk, to lock the door, to turn the hallway light. And I sat on my bathroom floor and held you in the night. You didn't know you were recording, it was just a pocket dial. 3 minutes of your ordinary 19-year-old style. I heard you order coffee, heard the barista say your name, heard the traffic of a Tuesday that would never be the same. I heard you hum a melody, one I hadn't thought about in years. I heard you sigh and shuffle bags and fumble with your keys. And then the recording ended, just a click, just empty air. And I pressed replay, immediately desperate, drowning unaware. And there you were, alive again, but you're not alive at all. You're just ones and zeros, pixels, waiting for a call that never comes, that can't connect the dot with 2019. And I am just the archivist of a love that used to shine. I saved the memo, cleared the space, deleted everything but you. A voice memo from 2019, the only proof I knew. October 12th, 2019, 11:23 p.m. phone storage is full again, but I'll never delete him. I'll buy more cloud, I'll pay the fee. I'll upgrade to the max just to keep your voice alive inside this digital wax. And when I'm old and gray and done, and memory fades to dust, someone will find your waveform and wonder who we were, and trust that we were something beautiful, something rare, something true. A voice memo from 2019, still waiting for you. We had the right ingredients, we measured every cup, flow with good intentions. Sugar lifting us up, we mixed it all together, watched it rise inside the heat. But we pulled it out too early, it was bitter, incomplete. The recipe was solid, written in a careful hand, but somewhere between the wanting and the having we got banned. We were almost finished, almost ready to display, almost proud enough to put our love out on display. But almost only counts in horseshoes and in hand grenades, and in the gallery of us we're just sketches left to fade. We were almost beautiful, almost something to behold, almost a love story that never would grow. We were almost poetry, almost a work of art, but almost only breaks you in the hollow of your heart. We were almost everything I ever dreamed we'd be, but almost is the distance between you and me. We were almost beautiful, but almost doesn't stay. And beautiful is just a word we gave away. We built the frame together, picked the wood and stained it right, hung it on the wall and stood back in the golden light. But we never found the picture that was worthy of the frame, so it hangs there empty, gathering the dust and shame. We painted half a canvas, sketched the outlines of our dream, but we ran out of the colors, ran out of the steam. We were almost as a cousin, I never asked to leave, but almost as half a masterpiece abandoned to its fate. We were almost beautiful, almost something to behold, almost a love story that never would grow old. We were almost poetry, almost a work of art, but almost only breaks you in the hollow of your heart. We were almost everything I ever dreamed we'd be, but almost is the distance between you and me. We were almost beautiful, but almost doesn't stay, and beautiful is just a word we gave away. Remember that vacation where we watched the sun go down? You said, this is perfect, I said, the best I've ever found. We took a photograph that night, our faces painted gold. I still keep it in my wall, it never shows its age, never grows old. But we never framed it, never hung it on the wall. I guess we were too busy waiting for the fall. Now that photograph is creased and faded at the seams, just like us, just like our almost dreams. We were almost beautiful, almost something to behold, almost a love story that never would grow old. We were almost poetry, almost a work of art, but almost only breaks you in the hollow of your heart. We were almost everything I ever dreamed we'd be, but almost is the distance between you and me. We were almost beautiful, but almost doesn't stay, and said today would be fair and mild. 72 and sunny, perfect weather for a child to play outside, to ride their bike, to feel the grass between their toes. But she doesn't know that 72 is the temperature of frozen nose. Waiting at a bus stop where you never showed up that December, standing in the sleet and wind, refusing to remember that you said you'd always come, that you said you'd never leave. Now 72 and sunny is a climate I can't breathe. This is the weather without you, and the forecast is always gray. Even when the sun is shining, even on the clearest day, the barometer is broken, it can't measure the pressure of a chest that's been caved in by the leaving of the one who loved it best. The weather without you is a permanent interior storm. I wear my coat in August, I shiver when it's warm. I remember how you loved the rain. You would pull me out the door, dance in puddles, soak our feet. Demand we have one more. You said the rain was holy water, washing all the dust away. Now every rainfall feels like a funeral for that happier day. The thunder used to be our cue to draw the curtains tight, to light candles, pour wine and love each other through the night. Now thunder is just thunder, loud and empty, cold and mean. A drum roll for the absence of your body next to mine, unseen. This is the weather without you, and the forecast is always gray. Even when the sun is shining, even on the clearest day, the barometer is broken, it can't measure the pressure of a chest that's been caved in by the leaving of the one who loved it best. The weather without you is a permanent interior storm. I wear my coat in August, I shiver when it's warm. I moved to a city with more sun, they said it would help me heal. 300 days of cloudless skies, nothing but blue and real. But the sun here is aggressive, it doesn't know how to be soft. It beats down like a verdict, it's a weapon held aloft. I miss the gray of our old town, the way the fog would roll, the way the mist would clean the windows, make the world feel whole. I miss the rain that smelled like you, the snow that felt like grace. I miss the weather of your body, the climate of your face. This is the weather without you, and I've learned to read the signs. The ache in my knees when humidity declines, the pressure drop behind my eyes when autumn starts to fall. The chill that never leaves my bones, regardless of the call of summer, spring, or winter, of the turning of the year. The weather without you is always cold and always here. The meteorologist said today would be fair and mild. 72 and sunny, perfect weather for a child. But I am not a child, and I am not fair mood. I am the aftermath of you. I am always all you, and I am always, always, always a little bit cold, a little bit cold, a little bit undone. The weather without you is the climate of the sun. 19 and bulletproof. You traced shapes across my chest and talked about the truth. Said if we ever have a daughter, I wanna name her June, after my grandmother, the one who taught me how to bloom. And I said if we have a son, I wanna call him Gray, after the color of the morning on the bay. We laughed about the spell and fought about the middle name. Two kids who didn't know that dreams could die just the same. Now I'm lying on my bedroom floor, 32 and paper thin, thinking about the children that we'll never hold within. June and Gray, two ghosts that never took a breath. Two names we carved into our hearts and then we put to death. What we named the kids before we knew there wouldn't be any. There's a cemetery in my chest and it's filling up with memory. I met someone last spring. She's kind and she is good. We've been dating 8 months now, the way that people should. Last week she asked me softly, do you ever want children someday? And I opened up my mouth to speak, but the words all went away. 'Cause how do I explain that I've already named them? That June and Gray live in my ribs, that I've already blamed them for not existing, for being dreams, for being too much weight, for a 19-year-old promise that we just couldn't make. Now I'm lying on my bedroom floor, 32 and paper thin, thinking about the children that we'll never hold within. June and Gray, two ghosts that never took a breath. Two names we carved into our hearts and then we put to death. What we named the kids before we knew there wouldn't be any. Here's a cemetery in my chest and it's filling up with memory. I saw you at the grocery store, toddler on your hip, a little girl with your smile, your eyes, your lower lip. And when you caught me staring, you looked down and softly said, this is June, she's 2 years old. My heart fell down and bled, you named her June. You kept the name, you kept the dream alive. Well, I've been wanting children that were never meant to arrive. I smiled and said she's beautiful and meant it with my chest. Then walked away and cried into the cereal aisle, obsessed with what we named the kids and how you gotta keep them. And I'm just left with syllables, a requiem, an anthem for two children who will never call me dad or laugh or sing. Just the ghost of a daughter, the phantom of a king. When we named the kids before we knew you'd keep the name. Before I knew that promises are rash and I just flame. June is real now, breathing, living, growing in the light. And gray is still a color that I see most every night. When we name the kids and what we name the dream we lost, is the difference between what something costs and what it costs. We were lying on your bedroom floor, 19 and bulletproof. You traced shapes across my chest and talked about the truth. And I didn't know then that forever was alone, and that naming something doesn't mean you'll ever get to hold it, no. June and Gray, two names I carry in my wallet, folded small and tight. The children that we almost had, the future that we almost might. What we named the kids is the quietest grief I know, because I loved them long before they didn't exist, and I'll love them long after you go. box of letters in the back of my closet today. Every single one started with my love, I can't wait to say the words you write about our future, the house by the sea, the dog we named June, the children, you and me. You had it all planned out, every detail, every year. Now I'm holding proof of promises that disappeared. You didn't have to say it, you could have just said now. You could have said I love you today. You didn't have to vow. You could have kept it simple, kept it in the present tense. But you had to go and talk about forever like it made sense. Why'd you say forever if forever was a lie? Why'd you paint a future just to leave me in the sky, hanging on a star that burned out before it even glowed? Why'd you build a castle in a place that never snowed? Why'd you say always? Why'd you say never let me go? Why'd you say forever when you only meant for now? I remember our first anniversary. You gave me a watch engraved on the back. Forever won't be long enough, not by a lot. I wore it every single day, never took it off my wrist. Now it sits inside my drawer. Every tick feels like a twist of the knife you said was love, all the promise you said was true. Forever wasn't long enough, but it was longer than me and you. You didn't have to swear on your grandmother's ring. You didn't have to promise me every single thing. You could have just held me and said, this is good right now. But you had to go and make forever some kind of holy vow. Why'd you say forever if forever was a lie? Why'd you paint a future just to leave me in the sky, hanging on a star that burned out before it even glowed? Why'd you build a castle in a place that never snowed? Why'd you say always? Why'd you say never let me go? Why'd you say forever when you only meant for now? Did you even mean it when you said it? Or was it just the wine? Was it just the candlelight? Just the perfect timing? Just the sign? Did you believe it in that moment? Did your heart get carried away? Or was forever just a word you knew how to say? Because forever isn't something you take back at the door. Forever isn't something you return to the store. Forever isn't maybe, forever isn't try. Forever is a promise that's supposed to mean goodbye. Means you never have to say it, means you never leave. But you said forever and you left, and I'm still trying to breathe. Why'd you say forever if forever was a lie? Why'd you paint a future just to leave me in the sky, hanging on a star that burned out before it even glowed? Why'd you build a castle in a place that never snowed? Why'd you say always? Why'd you say never let me go? Why'd you say forever when you only meant for now? Forever, it's just a word in a dictionary. Forever, it's 6-syllable temporary. Forever, I looked it up last night. Endless duration, eternal, infinite light. But my forever lasted 3 years, 2 months and a day. And now forever is a word I wish you'd never learn to say. Why'd you say forever? Why'd you say it at all? Why'd you make forever feel like a fall from a height I can't survive, from a cliff I can't climb back? Why'd you say forever when forever was just a crack in the sidewalk, in the pavement, in the foundation of saw you at the farmer's market, standing by the orchard stand. Your hair was shorter than I remember, a basket in your hand. You were laughing at something someone said. Your face turned toward the sun, and I stood there frozen like a fool, my breathing come undone. I wanted to call your name out, wanted to run to where you stood, wanted to ask if you still thought of me, if you ever thought you could. But my feet stayed planted on the concrete, my voice died in my throat. So I just raised my hand up slowly, like waving off a boat. You didn't wave back, you didn't see me standing in the crowd. You didn't turn, you didn't pause, you didn't call out loud. And I know you weren't ignoring me, I know you didn't know, but my heart still broke again right there, fresh and bleeding blow. You didn't wave back, and it was just like the last time that you left. A hand raised toward your leaving, a gesture of the bereft. I watched you pick up peaches, held them close to smell the sweet, the same way that you used to do when we would walk this street. You'd say summer is a fruit, my love, it has to be consumed. And I'd kiss your sticky fingers and believe we were immune to things like distance, things like endings, things like standing in a crowd, watching someone you once held become a stranger. Unbowed, you paid the farmer, turned away, walked towards the parking lot, and I lowered my hand slowly, the only wave you ever got. You didn't wave back, and you never will again. I am just a ghost you used to love, a stranger among men. The market stalls will pack up, the crowds will fade away, and I'll still be here standing, practicing what I can't say. You didn't wave back, but I'll keep waving anyway, because waving is the only prayer I know how to pray. I saw you at the farmer's market, standing by the orchard stand. Your hair was shorter than I remember, a basket in your hand. I raised my hand up slowly, like waving off a boat. The only love I've ever known, the only wave that stayed afloat. You didn't wave back, but I waved anyway, because somewhere in the waving is the love I couldn't say. You didn't wave back, but I waved anyway, because somewhere in the waving is the love I couldn't say. Saw you at the farmer's market, standing by the orchard stand. Your hair was shorter than I remember, the basket in your hand. And I raised my hand up slowly, like waving off a boat, the only love I've ever known, the only wave that stayed afloat. You didn't is the love I couldn't say. You left before the snow melted, before the robins came, before the crocus pushed through frozen ground to find the flame. You left in that gray season, between winter and the thaw, when the world holds its breath and doesn't know what it's waiting for. I watched your car dissolve into the sleet and fade and light, and March stood still beside me, dressed in charcoal and in white. No blossoms on the dogwood, no green along the hill, just the death of one long winter and the death of what we were still. You left before spring, so the spring never came. The daffodils folded, too ashamed to bloom your name. The sun tried so gently to pull life from the mud, but the ground had frozen over when you left it with my blood. April walked in silence, May wore widow's gray, and the seasons all forgot how to turn another way. The neighbors planted tulips in the bed beside the drive. I watched them push their green heads up, determined to survive. I wanted to rip them from the earth's ream. Don't you understand? She's not here to see them, she's not here to hold my hand. But they bloomed anyway, reckless, red and yellow and white, oblivious to the fact that half my world had lost its light. I hated them for growing, for their ignorant belief that beauty still had purpose when I only knew my grief. You left before spring, and now the year is dying. Leaves are falling like the promises you stopped believing in. drifted. The first snow fell last night, soft and silent and slow, covering the garden where nothing tried to grow. I stood at the window and watched the world turn white again, and understood at last, with a calm that felt like sin. You left before spring, but winter always knew that you would never see the flowers, and they would never bloom without you. Bulbs in the hallway blew out last week, 3 of them at once. I stood there in the darkness, not a single ounce of motivation to replace them, to find the stepladder, to brighten up the spaces that once held all our laughter. You were the one who changed the bulbs, you said it would you die. You dragged the kitchen chair across the floor and never sob about the height, the risk, the reach. You just climbed right up, and suddenly the darkness was a forgotten empty cup. You took the light and you left me. You took the sun and moon. You took the morning through the glass, the afternoon. You took the beside the bed, the reading light above. You took the glow of ordinary, you took the warmth of love. Now every room is dim and gray, every corner holds a shade. You took the light when you left me, and I'm living in the fade. Sent an electrician, a kind man named Ray. He said these bulbs are old, I'll change them all today. I watched them move through every room, efficient and detached, screwing in new brightness like my grief could be dispatched. You left me with a house that blazed, every switch of sun, every socket humming with the current's endless run. But the light felt wrong, too clinical, too sterile and too clean. It didn't have your fingerprints, your shadow on the scene. Shaped fire, the doubt that anyone would ever look at me the way you did. Like I was the source, the spark, the fuse, the listed lid. You took the light when you left Now I am a creature of shadow, of silence, of dust. You took the light, you took the light, and I am not angry, I am not spiteful, I am just tired of flicking switches and finding nothing, nothing, nothing. You took the light, and the dark is all I have left. So I've learned to love the darkness, because it still holds your silhouette. Because it still holds your silhouette. I had to fill out a form at the doctor's today. Said in case of emergency, who should we call right away? And my pen just hovered over that empty line. For the first time in 7 years, I couldn't put down your name this time. The nurse looked at me patient like she's seen this before. A woman frozen in the waiting room, holding a pen at the door. You were the first person they'd reach if I ever went down. You were the someone they'd notify when I couldn't be found. I always listed you first. You were my next of kin. Now I don't know who picks up when my world wears thin. You were my emergency contact, the one they call at 3 a.m., the one who'd rush to the hospital, the one who let me in. You were mine, case of crisis, my if something goes wrong, my safety net, my shelter, my place where I belong. Now the form's is blank and waiting, and I don't know who to name. You were my emergency contact, and nothing feels the same. I remember when you first made the list. We've been dating 6 months. You said put me down, I'll always come, we need me once. I laughed and said it's just a form, it's not that serious. But secretly I love that you wanted to take care of us. And every year after that, your name went in that space. Proof that in this world I had a designated safe place. I think about the night I actually had to use that card. Woke up in the ER, disoriented and scarred. And there you were, sitting in the chair, holding my hand. The first face I saw, the anchor in the sand. You were my emergency contact, the one they call at 3 a.m., the one who'd rush to the hospital, the one who let me in. You were mine, case of crisis, my if something goes wrong, my safety net, my shelter, my place where I belong. Now the form's just blank and waiting, and I don't know who to name. You were my emergency contact, and nothing feels the same. I thought about listing my mother, she'd come, I know she would, but she's 3 states over, and she wouldn't understand the good of having someone local, someone with a key, someone who closes me. I thought about leaving it empty, letting fate decide, but fate already took you from me. And I'm still trying to hide from the truth that sits here staring from this clipboard on my lap. There's no one left to call now, no one to fill the gap. You were my emergency contact, the one they call at 3 a.m., the one who'd rush to the hospital, the one who let me in. You were mine, case of crisis, my if something goes wrong, my safety net, my shelter, my place where I belong. Now the form sits blank and waiting, and I don't know who to name. You were my emergency contact, and nothing feels the same. I wrote your name in pencil first, then erased it slow. Watch the graphite smudge and fade, watch the evidence gold. And I wrote none in the box, handed back the clip. The nurse looked at me softly, didn't ask, didn't trip. She just smiled and said, I hope you never need to use this page. I hope so too, I thought, I hope so too with age. But if I do, if something happens, if the worst comes to pass, there's no one waiting in the wings, no one left to ask. You were my emergency contact, you were my always there. Now the line is empty, and the phone just cuts to air. You were my emergency contact, my person, my design. Now the form says none, and the emergency is mine, and the emergency is mine. You were my emergency contact, and now there's no one left to call. You were my emergency contact, now I'm the one who falls, and no one catches me, no one rushes in. You were my emergency contact, but emergencies don't call you when you're the one they happen to, when you're the one who's broken and the one who needed you. I guess that's the cruel twist, the joke that no one tells. The emergency contact is the one who needs help themselves, but you're not here to help me, and I'm not on your list. Somewhere in your wallet my name doesn't exist, and I'm sitting in this waiting room, filling out my fate. You were my emergency contact, and now it's too late. Now it's too late. Now it's too late. You were my emergency contact, but emergencies don't wait, and neither did you, and neither will I. You were my emergency contact. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.